Hello, and thank you for joining me on the Communication Collaboration. Our guest this time is the Harbinger. All right, so tell us about yourself, my man.
42 years old. I don't know. Raising a family, working, enjoying life, always remembering the past, and always planning for the future, I guess. Just having a good time.
Cool.
Surround yourself with good people. It's about me. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. What do you want to talk about?
Something that has made me obsessive recently is this child and human trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
It's a disaster. It's a mess. And it shouldn't happen, but it does.
Unfortunately.
From what I believe on a grand scale, I think there's people that should be doing things that aren't. Everybody's obligated, I think. I don't know. There's a lot that bugs me. I guess we'll start on why it bugs me, because apparently some people that I've known for a long time just don't even. It bothers me. Someone I know for probably 20 years, sent him a text. It's like, oh, this child trafficking to drive me crazy, and his response was, I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't really care. And I was like, I was shocked.
Mm-hmm.
This was recent. I was shocked. I was like, how do you not care?
Mm-hmm.
You got kids. You're a father. You know
I was
what I
going
mean?
to ask if you had children.
Yeah, exactly. That's why. Not that you tend to let that slide if anybody makes a comment like that, because.
Yeah, but it hits closer to home if you are a parent yourself.
Yeah, you would think.
Mm-hmm.
You would think.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I've known him for so long, and I pride myself on the fact that I surround myself by intelligent, successful people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't want to be around people that are going to drag you down or,
of course,
or put you in negative moods and stuff. I just don't like to be around that.
Right.
You know, got to set examples for our kids, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Got to be good parents.
Yeah. It starts with us.
It does. So I guess we'll go back as far as we'll go back. It'll probably be about 6 years, almost 7, when my son was born. I was working offshore. My stepdad, who, you know, he's my stepdad since I was 2, so we were obviously relatively close.
Mm-hmm.
And he was dying down here, so I came down. I took a break from work and school, and I took care of him because he didn't want to go in the hospital. And during this, it was stressful, as it would be for anybody. I'm not special. We all deal with things our own way. You know, it was rough on me, whatever.
Of course.
And I met this girl, and it was a fling thing, I guess. I wasn't really fully into it. I got her pregnant. She didn't. When we found out she was pregnant, she changed, and she wasn't a good person. That's when you find things out about people.
I agree.
That's when you start investigating and picking up on mannerisms and lying. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's something you don't think about or realize until it matters.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
No, I've heard a lot of stories. The exact same thing you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. You know. So that's when I was like, but she was pregnant, and she fought me on everything. I had been the prior 4 months worked to get. I had my Merchant Mariner's license, my TWIC card, all this stuff, so I could go offshore, physicals, getting in shape, getting healthy, and everything.
Yeah, and if you don't know, that's a pretty big deal.
It is.
A TWIC card. Yeah,
it is.
It's not an easy thing.
And it's money and physical and knowing, and you know, you have to be knowledgeable about what you're going to do too. You know,
of course.
But I had done that, and we found out she was pregnant, and she I don't know. She was a horrible person. I realized she was a horrible person.
How old were you both at the time?
I was 35. She was maybe 2 years younger.
Okay.
So 33 at the time.
Okay. So you weren't young kids.
What's that?
You weren't kids.
No. We knew better. Old enough to know better, be responsible. Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. That was probably most of the problem. You know, my perspective and hers were a little different age-wise, I guess, mentality-wise. Something messed up. And I guess I blame myself for the few people who do know this particular situation. You know, nobody ever says it, but I always get, you know, why were you even with her? You know, and I don't know. I mean, it was just, it was just one of them things, you know, we hung out, I needed time away, she needed time away, whatever. But I found out when we were probably together a month and a half, 2 months, then we found out she was pregnant. And then I found out then that she had a daughter I didn't even know. Okay, that's how much she never saw this kid, never talked about it. This girl was 8 years old,
Wow.
and she had another daughter, and I didn't even know. And that was when I was like, and then I found pills and stuff in her purse, and I'm like, what is going on? So I had worked very hard, and I wanted, I just want to be a successful person. So I worked hard to go offshore and do what I want to do. And, and she wasn't willing to get on board. And I know that sounds awful, but I always tell people that you can't help people if you can't take care of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and, I was in a situation where I had to be able to provide and take care of things.
Right.
So I went offshore. I stayed in touch with her family. She took off somewhere. Nobody knew where she was at. And I had gotten a text saying that, I'm just going to have an abortion and F you and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm offshore, man. I'm working offshore 2814. I'm just saving money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, whatever's going to happen, I'm going to be ready.
Mm-hmm.
Because in this world, you have money.
Mm-hmm.
You can, you know how it works.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was doing. And then I had stayed in touch with her family because I learned after they all knew she was fucking whack job. So whatever, legal but sneaky as it may be, I finagled with her friends and her family to find out, when it was going to be due. I was able to convince one of her close friends who took her to the doctor's visits to keep me informed. And that was cool. So I found out when the baby was going to be born. He was supposed to be born at the end of October. So she had a doctor's appointment being in October, and I made it a point to get off the boat, and I drove overnight from Louisiana to get here and meet there at their doctor's appointment at 8. She was shocked, and she was upset with her friend, but she knew that I was involved, and I could tell that she was still using and stuff. I hung around. I use this word a lot. Most people don't know what it means. I use the word relative because everything changes. It's all relative to whatever situation it affects. So I use that word. But relatively, I made amends with her as best I could to be able to keep an eye on her and keep her healthy as best I could.
Right.
But I had no feelings for her at all.
But she's still your son's mother, so.
Yeah. Well, at this point, the donor, but we're getting to that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I hear you. At that point, yeah, you gotta watch labels.
Yeah, I get it.
So, so I met her at the doctor's appointment, and like I said, I made amends with her enough to where I was keeping in touch with her. I went back out on the boat, and he was supposed to be born the end of October. I think the due date was like the second week in November, but she said something like the doctor at the hospital was gonna try and induce it. So by that point, I'd gotten a lawyer, one of the best that offshore money could buy locally, and she earned her money. It was a lot. It worked out. Ask my son; he's got a great life. She found out that the donor, that's a good reference, the donor had signed up for this program. I don't remember the name, and I probably wouldn't say it anyway, but it was offered by the state. It was funded through Planned Parenthood. There were 2 counties at this time in 2013, the end of 2013, there were 2 counties in this entire country that were trying this new program out. And the program was basically if a mother had a drug problem or was addicted or couldn't have a job or a criminal record, the state would take over everything. She would sign over her bank accounts and get a phone from them. And they would put her up in a place and give her the kid as long as they controlled everything. Right. And I didn't know about this because I was, for the most part, I was, in the dark on most of this until I made it a point to be involved.
Right.
And my lawyer's telling me this, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm here. Like, that's not going to happen. So he was born, and they induced the labor. She tried to have it done so I wouldn't know at a local podunk hospital close to my house that I don't like, and I didn't want him there. There's a much bigger national named hospital in town that's specifically takes care of kids born with whatever needs, and I wanted him there. But because she signed up with this program, they induced labor at this podunk hospital, and they couldn't treat him. He was born addicted to, they found 4 drugs in his system and alcohol and hers. So at that point, when the nurses told me that, like an hour after he was born, I was like, it's fucking battle mode. Like, you're gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do whatever I have to do to protect my kid from this fucking junkie bitch.
Yeah.
You know?
As any good parent would.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, it was instinct. It wasn't even an option. What do I got to do? What do I need to move, adjust, and fucking organize to make this happen?
Me the
because
mountain.
that is what is going to happen. So that Podunk Hospital administrators, and they were all getting kickbacks, and it's a shitty program.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
It's since been canceled, but I'm sure it's been renamed and transferred to some other fucking Podunk town somewhere else where people are unaware, you know? But I went to the hospital administrators, and I said, you know, I had walked in twice, and my 3-day-old son he was having a seizure, you know, and it's like, man, knowing what I knew, it's like, you know, you don't want to see, how do you fucking, you can't deal with that. You know, you just can't deal with that, you know, and I had already not liked the hospital. So the second time I walked in, he was having a seizure, and I'm like, all right, where the fuck is she at? And she's in the bathroom with her makeup on, taking selfies for her social media bullshit. And you know, I had already spoken with the lawyer, and they're like, you got to keep your cool. Yeah. You know, you can't let your Rhode Island come out. Yeah. You know, you need to do what's best for your kid, which is the only thing that kept me from being a bad person, was doing what's best for my fucking kid because he had nobody else. So
that's awesome.
I immediately freaked out, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing taking pictures? This fucking baby's having a seizure, and you're not even watching. So I called the nurses. And one of the nurses who helped me, we had to do some sneaky stuff to get her out of the room to get the DNA test just for legal purposes. Yeah, of course. You know, for the law shit, you got to make sure it's. So this nurse, she's like, listen, she's like, you need to get him to this other hospital that you keep talking about. And I'm like, I'm trying. She's like, the administrator's in today. It's Tuesday morning. Go up to her office. It's on whatever floor. She helped me out. And I go up there, and I walked right in, and I said, look, I got to get my kid out of here. I was nice. It was nice at first. I want to get shit done. So I said, I got to get my kid out of here. I said, this other hospital, they'll take care of him. She's like, we can't do that. She signed up for the program. I said, well, I'm the father. You know, I'm equal father. I'm on the birthright. And, you know, as much as they tell you that you're equal parents, it doesn't matter in the eyes of the people. The law may say that you both own 50% of that kid. You're both responsible. But to the individual who makes that decision based on the law, it's fucking not that way.
Oh, I agree.
Just for the record.
Especially where we're at.
Yeah. Just because of the rural type fucking classifications and culture that we live in. It's horrible. So the lawyer's like, the only thing we can do is you have to go to the good hospital and get a doctor, and they have to specifically request him by name in his care. Man, I went, this was one of the hard ones. I went to the hospital, and I sat outside the electric lock doors. Every fucking doctor that came out, I was like, please help me, please. And one of the nurses who worked there, her husband was a doctor. And I told him what happened, and I gave my lawyer's number, and he called him, and he's like, yeah, whatever you need. So I had to pay out of pocket. I went back to the other hospital, the Podunk one. I was very happy about to say, fuck you, my kid's getting out of here. And they're like, wow, you got to come out of pocket and pay for it. I'm like, whatever. Fucking, I don't give a fuck, man. Start making this shit happen. Yeah. Start winding this up. Let's go.
Yep. Put the diaper on. We're out of here.
And I got him over there, and that was great because it was a better hospital. But I felt good. When I seen him at this other hospital, it was like there's a beacon. If I can get him over to this better hospital, then he'll be in better care and he'll have a better chance. You know, and that was a temporary, short-sighted goal that got me through each and every fucking day. You know what I mean? And not to mention, my mother died not too long after. And while I'm dealing with all this, my mother was in another hospital across town dying. You know, so I'm trying to spread my time and money. And it was a nightmare. I mean, like I said, nobody's more special than anybody. Everybody deals with shit. But man, I had a pile of shit that I was dealing with, and I had to keep my senses about me and my wits about me. And, you know, my kid, it's all him, you know. Yeah. It was all him. So I get him over there. And I felt good. I felt he's in a good place now. These people are nice. They know where I'm coming from. And the donor one time said to me, because every once in a while she'd go up there if she got a ride, but she said to me, she goes, I don't understand why all the nurses hate me. And I'm like, fucking baby was born addicted because you didn't give a fuck, and you're never here, so they don't like you,
Yeah. It shows.
Yeah, no, yeah, they fucking know. I mean, they're nurses. They deal with this every day. They see 10 of you a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there was one particular time when he was getting better, and they had to give him certain amounts of methadone at different times because they were weaning him off of 4 different drugs.
Right.
And those drugs obviously affect, differently. The Xanax, coming off the Xanax was a different effect than the methadone that was in his system. So it was real weird. So they had to see how he was coming off of each drug and monitor that, which I played a part in every fucking second I was there.
Yeah.
And they'd have to give him different amounts of methadone at different times. You couldn't give him 6 milligrams of methadone every 12 hours.
Yeah.
You'd have to give him 1 or 2 here and then see how the Xanax and shit was doing, then maybe give him another. It was real touchy. It was rough. But man, he was there 2 weeks and he was getting better, and his stomach didn't develop, so he had trouble eating and digesting. But he was healthy. He was a fucking fighter. He was me. And
what about long-term effects of children who are born addicted to
so the
drugs?
first few years he was born, after he was born, we went up to this big hospital. Every year they offer, and we still go. Every year they offer a free carnival to all the NICU babies, and we go up there every year and see the doctors and stuff. And at this time, which was 2013, they didn't have too many long-term studies, variables, and constants to go by, which is basically the jargon that I got from them. And they're like, there may be some kind of learning disability when he's 16 or 17, maybe retaining knowledge, but we don't know 15 years from now because we haven't been studying it for 15 years at this point, So we don't know, I mean, that was 2013, and man, this kid's amazing. Everybody thinks their kid's amazing, but considering what he went through and the place that he's at, yeah, everybody agrees. He's a very well-developed, smart, intelligent kid. He figures shit out. So he was doing good for 2 weeks, and I went up there. I was sleeping in my truck. I'd go to the other hospital and then see my mom and take care of her, and I'd come back, and I would sleep in my truck in the parking lot. And the nurses would call me when it was time for him to eat, because they said an important thing is for him to have a bond with the same person, so that while he's fighting and trying to get better physically, he has that same mental picture. It's like when you're working out and they tell you to pick a spot in the ceiling and stare at it. It's basically the same psychological shit for a baby, So they'd call me, say, he's always up, he's gonna eat. And I go up there, and then one time I woke up and they didn't call me, and when he was on a pretty tight schedule, I'm like, what the fuck, man? So I go up there, and man, he's fucking seasoned. And it's like when he had a seizure 2 weeks before the other hospital, panic, intelligent panic mode that, most people have, but not everybody that I feel that I do. Some people freak out, fight or flight. And I'm like, I analyze what needs to be done quickly. That's most people I hang around with. That's how I fucking know.
Right.
And the first seizure at the other hospital, the Podunk hospital, is like, oh man, I gotta get him out of this fucking hospital. That's my goal. That's what I'm reaching on to, and that's what I'm holding on to right now, is to get this kid and get to that hospital. Like, whatever I gotta do, whoever I gotta fight, whatever I gotta do is gonna get done. But I had him at the good hospital, and he was getting the best care. And he had been getting better for 2 weeks, and then I go up there and he wasn't. And man, I just freaked out. Even now, it's like the only thing that's the only emotion. It's the only thing that triggers my emotion that I can't control. I just can't. It's just when I think about that fucking 20 seconds, I thought he was going to die after all that we had gone through. And it was probably everything built up, but I just broke down, and I just broke. I thought he was going to die, and I broke. Short as it may be, my heart shattered, my soul broke. And I was like, because there's nothing you can do. Yeah. There's nothing more I can do. There's nobody I can call. There's nothing. There's no other hospital. There's nothing. There's no medicine. There's nothing. Like I never felt like that in my life. So passionate about anything. There's nothing I can do, and this is gonna end horribly. And he didn't, obviously. But man, that shit, fucking, like, after that, it was like, man, people will tell you, like, I'm an emotionless fool. That's, I'm a great person, respectful, nice, and caring, but I don't have any emotion. Nothing affects me like that. That's a lot of people don't get it, but nothing is going to trigger me like that. So fast forward 6.5 years to a couple months ago, we're all coroned out. We're all sitting at home, and catching up on my Netflix documentaries. I love documentaries, and I watched this one. It was called Gabriel Fernandez.
Okay.
I forgot the chronicles of the story of. It's on Netflix still. It's about this kid who got beat, tortured by his family for like 6 years. Similar things, that affected me, whatever. And there was one part in the documentary where he had been beaten all weekend and thrown in a cupboard by his mom and stepdad. And they had other kids. There were 4 other kids that they loved. They loved them. They cherished their other kids. But this kid, for whatever reason, nobody knows, they hated this kid. And he was a cute little kid. He seemed like a real good kid. So it was a weekend. It was Mother's Day weekend. And he didn't go to school for a week. And he was locked in the cabinet beat. And there's a part in this documentary where the teacher has still photos where he was at school. And they were making Mother's Day cards for their mothers. And this kid was fucking beat up. Black eyes, bloody lip, fucking just face fucked up. Mm-hmm. And he's trying to smile through his broken jaw, holding up a Mother's Day card for his mother, who we learned to find out is the one who fucking did this to him and has been for years. Yeah. And man, I lost it. Mm-hmm. I fucking lost it. Like I was sitting there I started sobbing. I'm glad my family wasn't there, I lost it. I couldn't control myself for like 2 minutes. And I was like, I'm sitting there looking at this kid on the fucking computer screen and thinking of that one time my kid, I couldn't fucking do nothing. You're just helpless. Mm-hmm. I consider myself an able person, but you're helpless. And it wasn't my kid, but I don't know why. I'm not a psychologist, but that triggered that emotion from when I had to deal with my son. Mm-hmm. And from there on up to right now, like, I don't know, man, I see this shit. There's a video by Goya, someone that I used to know. Mm-hmm. One of these sites I go into, these pages and all this research I do, there's a video of someone had a kidnapped child and he was painted up like the video, and the abductor was painted up and he kept going in his face and freaking him out.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Man, that kid looks similar to my kid, and the fear in his eyes, man, it breaks my fucking heart. Like, I don't know what to say. I can't control it. Mm-hmm. My friends are like, oh, you're getting out of control. I can't do nothing about it. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I work. I take care of my family. I can interact with people. I'm respectful. I don't fight. I don't cause crimes. Right. But, man, I can't control myself. These fucking kids are innocent. Yeah. They don't know any better. And from a young age, you just ruined them. You ruined them mentally and physically. God knows what, if you even let them live. Yeah. And it just triggers me. It just does. Like, I can't do nothing about it.
Every parent, I think, puts themselves in
you insert your kid's face.
Well, yeah, you put yourself in a panic mode. Like, what would I do if that was my child, So I get completely where you're coming from. But the fact that something like that actually happened to you, I get it, man. You want it. Every minute is precious.
And that's not a story just for reasons where, we don't. I've got an amazing wife now, mm-hmm. and they love each other. We are the perfect family, mm-hmm. father, son, and wife. And he doesn't know any better. And, he gets straight A's and he takes all kinds of extracurricular, and he's known at his school to be a helper.
Does he know who his mother is?
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't bring it up. Why? When he's older?
No, I get it.
I mean, you know me. I'm straight up honest. I explain anything to my kid. He'll ask me anything about anything at 6 years old, and I'll tell him. Yeah. I'll try and explain it to him. So I'll tell him. But, he has a great life and a great focus right now. Mm-hmm. And, until they're about 13 or 14, I believe that they're in their learn mode. They learn how to learn. They learn what they want to learn, traditions, things that help them learn. Mm-hmm. I ain't trying to fuck that up. The whole reason I'm doing everything is for my kid. The reason I did all the shit I did was to give him the best opportunities I can. Right. And the donor hadn't seen him since he was like 4 months old. Mm-hmm. From what I understand, she's still living 2 miles down the road. I've had the same phone number for 15 years, and I've never been contacted about anything, which is fine. Yeah, of course. Because I wouldn't, the custody papers that I have, they're tough. She'd have to do a lot to get any kind of visitation, just because of the way he was born and the shit he went through and the fact that she didn't give a fuck, so they came down hard on her, which is fine, so, but man, it just, and I don't know, it's like, all my friends are like, oh, you're always posting this and that. And I'm like, well, I still got to go to work. I still have to take my kid half the time while my wife's at work. Otherwise, I'd quit my job right now and go be a U.S. Marshal and go help find these kids. Mm-hmm. I would love to. Mm-hmm. I'm sure everybody wants to and everybody would say that, mm-hmm. but I can't. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe I could, but I'm not going to sacrifice my lifestyle and my kid's future.
Yeah.
So so half of me is like,
I got news for you though, man. I'm a member of a few groups like yours, and there are people who feel as passionately about this as you do. I agree, everybody should, but I don't want you to think that you're alone, man.
No, I mean,
I think some people really just don't know what to do.
Eventually associate yourself,
yeah,
mm-hmm. with like-minded mm-hmm. individuals. Mm-hmm. So,
I know when the Epstein thing broke out, it was like, oh my God, child trafficking, and then he dies, and it was like, well, nobody's talking about that anymore. They're just talking about his death. So then they got a hold of his girlfriend or whatever, and she was a hot topic for a while. And I know all this stuff had been happening since they found her, like the kids found in Georgia,
Michigan,
yeah,
Ohio.
39 kids. And there have been a few other, yeah, exactly.
Delaware's been a few.
But other than that, it kind of left the news. And then the Wayfair thing broke, and I for sure myself thought that if that didn't, because here's the deal, Corey Haim, Mel Gibson, a few people, and we're talking. I use those references because they were years ago when everybody was like, "These guys are fucking crazy, man. They're conspiracy." Woo-hoo. You know what I mean?
I'll throw another name in, not to interrupt you. When I've been most recent, like this past week, getting into deep is Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm. He did a lot to help kids, mm-hmm. and nothing was ever proven, and he was made out to look like a loony. Mm-hmm. So people take what they want from it. That's what I take what I want from it. But that's another issue that I'm currently researching. Mm-hmm. Talking about making people look like loonies. Mm-hmm. Maybe he was speaking the truth. Yeah, maybe he was trying to help fucking kids. Mm-hmm. Princess Diana, she did a lot with kids. Mm-hmm. Bad shit happened to her. Mm-hmm. So anything can happen.
Yeah, I think specifically what I want to know is how do you brand and market that? I feel like shit saying that you should have to even do that.
No, don't feel like shit because you have to nowadays. Everything's a corporation.
How do you keep people's attention and focus? And because, again, this is something that you should just automatically do for children because, like you said, they're innocent.
They can't protect them. They're like bullies.
Don't know any better.
By bullies. Yeah. I hate the fucking bullies. Everybody hates bullies. They're being bullied.
Yeah.
No matter what the situation, they're weaker. They're not as developmentally. Yeah. You know better and you're stronger. Yeah. You're bullying them.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Oh yeah. Fuck
that.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you there.
But no, you're right in this day. You have to. You have to. So I have a vehicle that me and my son went out and painted up for a rally ride. Mm-hmm. We meet locally once a month. We got another one coming up. Mm-hmm. And we do the truck. We got to build a big flagpole. We got a huge flag on the back. We got all the windows painted like flags. And we do that. And I have websites and hashtags on there. And there's pages on Facebook. There's Facebook pages. There's groups. The only thing that I see now, because, and this is a topic for a different podcast, but the mainstream media, they're obviously bought and paid for.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Even not getting into conspiracies, anybody listen to this, you don't see nothing about stolen kids on the news. That should be 24. You want to run fucking dumb shit 24 hours on the bottom of the TV? Mm-hmm. How about these fucking kids? Where was the last known trafficker? Who's missing now? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like let's get on it. You know, like something shady's going on to cover it up.
Oh, of course.
You can't deny that. Why? I don't want to get into it because, like say, everybody's had it. But what I've been doing is we do the rides, the rallies. We got the truck everywhere I go. I'm always putting save our children's all over the truck. People see it, the flags. I'm on a bunch of sites: Twitter, WeMe, Gab, WinMic, Facebook. All the sites that people know about that I see, I go and I sign up for them. And every day, dude, when I get off of work, my kid's doing his homework. I'll spend an hour and I'll go over the news, the news for the day. On all these sites and pages, because it's still, regardless of what you believe, it's still news that's put out by people who are not mainstream media. Mm-hmm. People talk shit about Twitter, but you're getting videos from somebody who's there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you take what you want from that, but I'm going to believe that than some fucking talking head on CNN that tell me it's not happening. Mm-hmm. When I just saw a fucking video, from some guy who's bloody who was there. So I have multiple sources. And I'll go through and I'll gather up 4 or 5 posts a day. And people who know me will tell you they're probably annoyed by it, but I don't give 2 fucks. You know what I mean?
You're doing your part, man.
I have messenger groups with, my friends and stuff. And one of my friends, I was like, man, you been looking at all this stuff? He's like, I just turn the alerts off now and look at it on weekends. Whatever. Yeah. You're looking on weekends, that's fine.
I feel bad too because I don't get into it as much as I think I could. There's a few groups that I...
You know what? I've come to terms with that, though. I've really come to terms with that because, I was the same thing. I mean, my wife, when I get a hair up my ass about something, I'm pretty adamant. I'm from Rhode Island and stubborn and Italian and fuck you, I'm going to do it. Obviously we compromise. I love my wife, She's the best. I'll call her if I get upset. She's my voice of reason. Yeah. She keeps me calm. But I know she would, because I was like, babe, the U.S. Marshals are hiring, and they're the ones right now that are doing. She's like, what do you want to do? She hears me out, and I'm sure she knows it's ridiculous from the way she rolled her eyes. Yeah. But I was like, I got to go to Gainesville for training and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, just figure it out, and we'll talk about it. So she's cool like that. But, I mean, it's not something I can do, with our work schedules and the schooling, and the bills. I don't know what to say, dude. Yeah. Like, I don't know what to say to people out there who might call me on my shit. First off, I don't give a fuck what you think because I'm doing what I can with every ounce of energy that I have. I sleep 3 hours a night. You know what I mean? But yeah, you just have to come to terms with it on your own. But you do what you can. We can't upend our lives. There's people in this world who are paid, who have time and resources to do that. Maybe they're not. Maybe they don't want to. Maybe they're evil. Maybe they don't know about it. But there are other options for these kids. What I can do and what you can do and what we can do while keeping our jobs is try to make people aware. Right. That's what I don't know what else to do. Right. I go to these rides. I tell people, even if they hate me, even if I piss them off, I don't give a fuck because they'll get mad. Go look it up. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. Look it up. You don't like what I'm saying? You think I'm talking shit? Yeah. Go Google it. Go look a video. Go a newspaper, a link. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Do some research. Yeah.
You can only do what you can do. Yeah. And I did. Like you said, I felt bad for the first couple weeks. I'm like, man, I want to go be a U.S. Marshal and do this, but I got to protect my kid. I got to make sure he goes to school. My wife has to work. The dogs have to eat. I don't know. So I do what I can, and it might work out someday where I can, go quit and help out. I think after this next election, I think our rules on how we as a community deal with pedophiles and shit in communities may or may not change. I don't know. That's all up in the air, but we'll just have to see.
I think it all depends on how deep it really goes and who's actually involved. You
can't deny it's deep. If you look, there's a site, CPS. They have their own news network. They have their own pages. They have their own groups on all these platforms. And I know this lady who I'm friends with and have been friends with for a while. She worked for them for like 25 years, but she still uses her logo to promote. But she talks horrible about them and she wants it stopped. And she has a list of her clients and she goes through and tries to save them. And I'll get messages that like, who do I inform? Who do I tell? And I feel horrible. I'm like, I don't know. I don't trust the FBI. The FBI has been looking into this for years, but apparently this shit's going on pretty fucking heavy. So what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. Obviously not what you're supposed to be.
Well, and I've actually got a question, my man, something that I thought about, and I don't know. My mind, just like yours, just gets on a wandering trail. And Jeffrey Epstein, right? He's supposed to be this well-connected, very rich person who is not dumb by any means. And within these circles of very powerful people, how does one like that even get caught to begin with? You know what I mean? Like, how did he end up in the position? That doesn't seem weird to you? This isn't some guy running a porn studio out of his basement. You know what I mean?
I was born, raised in Rhode Island. I've seen seedy shit, shady shit. I lived up there as an adult for years, and we've all been on different sides of the tracks as we're growing up in our trials and tribulations. But if you have a point man or you have a good thing going or someone who's making you money or getting what you want, you protect him. You keep his anonymity. You put his money in other people's names. You put his houses. It's just... you look at like Pablo Escobar's right-hand man. What was his name? Nobody fucking know who that is. Yeah. Because he did something right. Because he was protected. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's how it always works. Yeah. They're not the faces, but they're the ones that make the decisions. But I'll tell you what my research has shown me was I forgot what year it was. I'm sorry about facts. I don't have these particular ones because this is a conspiracy podcast. But briefly, very briefly, just regarding Epstein and not wandering off. In 2001 or 2002, a bill was signed where the NSA would have access. So they had the Patriot Act, and they had. Let's be honest. They had already been they'd already been recording and keeping shit on everybody. I mean, say whatever the fuck you want. It was implemented long before the fucking Patriot Act was signed.
I agree.
That's what gave them the idea for the Patriot Act. So that was signed, and after that was signed, I think it was a year or two after, a bill was passed. Again, I don't have that direct information, but I can get it if need be. A bill was passed to let the NSA have access to all this. For Homeland Security, Department of Homeland Security and the NSA would have access to this information that the CIA and whatever fucking acronym had it at the time. And from verging on, no, this is where it gets fucking gray and people, whatever. But at this point, when the NSA got this information, the Department of Homeland Security and NSA is predominantly run by military, not like FEMA, that's all civilian shit. Because you need military to make strategies and put all this information together. So even the fucking assholes that think they run the world still need the fucking intelligent people to make strategies and do their bullshit for them.
I agree.
So anyway, you're well aware. Yeah. You know what I mean? Well aware. So when this happened, the military got all this information. And another thing that you can simply Google and see that Jeffrey Epstein had like fucking 30 cameras all over his house, in his bedrooms, his hallways, his basements, whatever the fuck. Yeah. He had cameras all over, which was in these archives that the deep state, I feel, was in charge of until the NSA was able to access these records. And I'll just say it one time in this podcast. I swear I wouldn't say it at all. But there is the conspiracy theorist QAnon, which brings all this information to light, whether you believe it or not. Do your own research. I just put it out there. But this group is supposedly made up of military members who, when the NSA received all this fucking archived information, these military members saw what was happening to children around the world, and they freaked the fuck out, and they wanted it stopped. So and they needed a segue. Like, what do? You just go arrest the person at the top. Just, I don't know, a Rothschild. You just go, you can't do that. Yeah. You get the weakest link, the one that everybody's protecting, who fucking knows everything that nobody knows about, and you bring them out to the open. So if you do your research and you check out timelines and you have an idea of what's going on behind the scenes right now, then that seems like a legit timeline that I can put some stock into. It makes sense. And you need the military. The military in every aspect of history. Even Caesar, when he fucked up and crossed the Rubicon and brought the military into Rome like he wasn't supposed to do, which is why we have the National Guard now, just on the side note. That changed world history, him doing that, And so you need the military. And that's what I believe happened. That's why I think Jeffrey Epstein came to light. Number one, because he knew everything of what was going on. It was his island. And you get fucking people scared. You get people scared when all these people are doing this shady shit, and the one guy that you trust who knows all your secrets just got fucking picked up. You are fucking scared. Everything you know is just flipped upside down. So that's how I think nobody knew about him and why it came to light now. So, but again, you have to do your own research. I don't want nobody to hold me to anything. Yeah. I know you don't, but
no, I recommend you do your own research as well. Human trafficking, man. That's
again, we've been talking about kids. Human trafficking is equally as horrible. I think they do worse things to the older kids. I think that is when it comes down to when they do, because another part of this billion-dollar industry of human trafficking, along with murder, rape, sex of kids, whatever the fuck these scumbags do. The other aspect of it is organs. If you have a developed teenager or 18 or 19 or so, they take their organs. Yeah. They do. It's not a big fucking deal for them to kidnap some homeless kid who ran away and take all of his organs and make $500,000 on the shit. Yeah. So human trafficking is equally as horrible. It sucks. I don't know why. We just went through why I gravitate more towards helping the kids, but I also feel too. You take down these ones that are doing the kids, it's all the same bullshit.
Yeah, it's all people, in the same circle.
So you got one to get them all, the dominoes fall. You know what I mean? So it's all relative, man. It's all relative.
Do you think that, like going back to the raids they've been doing and getting all these kids that were involved in human trafficking, do you think they always kind of knew where they were at, and now there's just enough spotlight on it.
I think
Because it's just weird to me also. I know that, God, I can never remember her name, Epstein's.
Oh, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah. Do you think that she's given up information and now they're
No.
just... That's what I'm saying. Why would you play that card?
I mean, again, just straight, I'll say one sentence. I think they're all fucking dead.
Yeah.
You haven't seen no celebrities in months. You ain't seen fucking Bill Gates talking about his bullshit. No, you ain't seen nobody. Nobody on TV.
Yeah, there's some weird shit going on there.
And my conspiracy brain says, no, they already had the information. They got these people locked up in Gitmo, or they're fucking dead or something.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because that's what I thought too.
I'll tell you something else. One of the things I watched
made
a good point. It was Rogan, another podcast, and one of the guys he had on, he goes, you know what's weird about the whole thing? He's like, they never did a perp walk for Epstein or Maxwell. Mm-hmm. If you notice when they first get arrested, all the press knows where to sit up on the side of the fucking side door of the building to catch them. Nothing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's definitely some special circumstances going on. But I will throw this in there and not care. I think our president is doing a lot of shit that people aren't aware of, are distracted by, whatever the case is. I think he is doing things that we're all unaware of that is helping. I think things are coming to light for the most part. Facebook has been getting horrible. All these groups I'm on, Save Our Children. I got screenshots. I'll send you screenshots for days of shit they blocked. People put up end human trafficking, and they blocked it. It goes against our standards, and everybody knows that. Even if you don't believe half the fucking shit I believe, if you're on Facebook, you've seen it. Yeah, you've been blocked for something stupid. And you're like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's fucked up. That's more than a coincidence. No.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. When Microsoft got in trouble,
the monopoly shit.
I think it was a security breach. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. This happened, I don't know, early mid 2000s, I want to say, and they had to go up in front of Congress. And then ever since then, there's always been kind of everybody knows that there's a back door through those programs where they can get in. It's unencrypted. And I think that was a provision that they put in when they were like, look. So I think Facebook went through the same thing. They were like, look, man, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to play this. We can either shut you down or you can give us access to the back door to where we can. Because here's the thing. They figured, finally, I think they figured this out, that people were not only being motivated, but heavy communicating underground through these channels. And they finally got hip to it and was like, we need to shut this down or monitor it. And I think that's why there's a lot more monitoring going on. And especially heading into the next election, because, there's just so much crooked shit going on anyway.
There is. And, you also have to take into account the people of the world, or the sheeple of the world, and most of them may not know they're fucking sheep, and most of them may be at a point to where they're going to make a connection, and not to be cliched, but have the great awakening, because this shit is going on. And much like I mentioned earlier, my friend that I've known for 20 years was like, this kid works for a huge tech company. He's extremely wealthy. He's been around. He's a friend of mine. He's aware and intelligent.
And could be very resourceful, I'm sure.
Could be very freaking resourceful, he makes web pages, right? So, but I'm like, you don't know and you don't care. Like, you gotta at least see the fucking signs. I just put an end trafficking, and Facebook fucking banned me for 2 days. Does that not register? Does that not make you want to fucking think?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, in my life, I'm fucking inquisitive. I'm curious. I want to know why the fuck that just happened. Yeah. Why are you doing that? Because I either don't want to do it again, or I do want to do it again. Whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's how I am. And I've known this guy forever, and I know he's like-minded, but just don't care. Just don't want to hear it. Don't want to deal with it. Maybe can't deal with it. I don't know. I don't know. But people just need to get aware. It's just, I don't know. Like, so Facebook can block all their shit, and a lot of these groups I'm on and the pages, they're all like, oh, don't hashtag this, don't say this. And I go on there, I'm like, you know what? Fuck them. There's other platforms on there. Fuck Facebook. You don't need fucking Facebook. Fuck Facebook. Get off Facebook. Quit getting them fucking money. Make them so they're irrelevant. We don't need them. They need us. Because I'll tell you something that makes me feel real good about this. And over the course of this, I will say that my faith has been drastically improved and changed. And I have a much, much stronger faith in God now. You have to. You can't see fucking evil and not think there's no good, because the only way you can recognize evil is to know good and vice versa.
Right.
Like, they're hand in hand. They're
Right.
matter and antimatter. So, yeah, I'll argue with anybody. You're not going to sit there and tell me that there's not a fucking higher power that knows more and controls more than we fucking know. You just can't. I don't know the exact aspects of it. There's a whole bunch of stories, but there's fucking something.
Yeah.
And up until probably a few months ago, I wouldn't believe that. I couldn't, because I was just too caught up in myself. But man,
yeah, I was gonna say, I saw you posting some stuff with scripture in it. And I was thinking,
every day.
I remember having a conversation, and we were talking about that, and pretty much it echoes what you just said. There was a point in time where it was whatever, and now it's really relevant to you.
I mean, I think we all, if you have a decent level of intelligence, you have to. Even if you don't believe, you have to believe there's something out there. Aliens, you have to. There's something bigger than us. If you think that we're the fucking peak of the universe, that our fucking instincts and nature, human beings, you're fucked up. Like, seriously, that's not even close. There is much more intelligent, intricate, complicated shit that we couldn't even fathom. Yeah. There has to be. Yeah. There is. I mean, there just is. I mean, I
agree. Yeah.
Can't not be.
It would be a waste of space, right?
Right. So.
Well, the thing about it though is you could also argue the point, and I'm not coming from I'm not trying to bash or come from an atheist point of view.
No, I was there. Whatever you got, I'm good.
Yeah. I just if you're talking about aliens and stuff like that, it would be easy to dismiss that, because when you talk about God, you're talking about someone who is generally a good person and made all this.
Well, see, there I'd have to stop you, because I don't feel like in a conversation like this that we're about to have, you can't refer to God as a person. Again, that goes back to, if you think that but you know what I mean.
I see your point. Yeah. You're right.
You have to refer to it as something bigger than us. I mean,
entity. Then we'll say, if he is that person that we've all come to know and love, you would almost beg to question why someone like that would let these types of things happen. It's one thing for it to happen to me and you because we're older and still strong enough and can defend ourselves. But when you start talking about picking on something that can't even defend itself,
I can answer that.
Go ahead.
I have a great answer for that.
Go ahead.
I'm done. I'll see you later. Peace out. No, I have a great answer because, again, like-minded individuals, this is a recent revelation for me. So, yeah, I'm inquisitive. I want to know, why do I feel this way? Mm-hmm. I felt like you did for 41 years. Mm-hmm. How the fuck? What the fuck? I don't understand. So here's how I do post Bible verses. I believe in the Bible. I think it's a great teaching for people to be good. You start thinking too much into it, and factions and different religions and stuff like that, that's when it gets a little mind-boggling and fucked up. But when I post, aside every morning, I share a Bible verse. Mm-hmm. Every night I got this app, or me and my kid, he's got the app. They put on some nice music and they'll read from the Bible while you go to sleep. Mm-hmm. It's great. Mm-hmm. I love it. But when I post something that's not a direct quote from the Bible, I will say God, but most of the time when I reference God, I'll use the word light. And here's why. Because directly answering the question and concerns that you just brought up, which were also something that bothered me for a long time, was, again, I don't think of God as a person or some kind of big cloud-sized ghost that sits up there and fucking points with his wand and makes it lightning and mm-hmm. points this way and makes it rain. I don't believe in that because mm-hmm. physics alone says that's fucking impossible. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
No, I agree completely with you. Yeah.
Going back to matter and antimatter, light and dark, those are general terms. The light symbolizes, and throughout history in anybody's everyday life, the light is pure, it's good, it's bright, it lets you see things, it enlightens things, it'll cast shadows on things, to show you shit that's not in the light and stuff like that. So if you look at it more metaphorical in our modern day, it's more tolerable and easier to swallow, so all these evil fucking people that I'm trying to fight, that we're all trying to fight, that the good people are trying to fight who are doing bad things, that's darkness, that's evil. They're not out in the fucking down the street doing it. They're hiding in their basements. They're in a fucking room with no lights on. That's fucking darkness. Yeah. But the light that I believe in, you can see it through the universe. The light brightens our fucking universe. The light lets us see asteroids and planets that are coming at us. The light, to me, is good because it helps me. It lets me see things, metaphorically and fucking physically. I like the light. I can do better things, be more efficient, and be a better person in the light time. You know what I mean?
That's actually a very astounding answer.
It is, right? Yeah, right? I know. I've been thinking about this for a while. It's not bullshit. I'll fucking argue with anybody with anything, so I got to know my shit.
Yeah.
But so when I post shit, I say, we're all warriors of the light. We walk in the light. So that's how I'm not going to say justify, but for lack of a better word, that's how I explain my belief, my faith, and my religion. Again, I don't know about this fucking flood and this guy 200 years ago building an ark for every animal. Now, there could have been maybe some type of alien here that had a suitcase full of DNA of different animal that fucking went on a little fucking submarine. I don't know. It's possible. But all that physical shit, man, it's tough for me to buy. And I think for the most part, it can be just a distraction. When me and my kid talk about it, all he wants to talk about is the boat and the animals, and he's missing the whole fucking point. Yeah. But he's 6, so I don't know.
Right.
But that's how it is, and that's how I see shit in my head. We're the fucking light. We're the good people. We walk in the light. You're a good person. If you're at the store and you see some guy trying to fucking take some kid out of some other's car, I know you. You're going to run over there and fucking shoot him. I'm going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
There's probably going to be 10 other people that are going to do it. Those are God's people. Whether you believe in them or not, whether I believe in it or not, I don't even know. But you walk in the light and you're a good fucking person and you do good things. And you know what? The only person who wants to answer for that, the only person going to judge you is your fucking self.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what happens when you die. You're going to go in a fucking leather chair in front of God with a glass of scotch. I don't know. It doesn't sound right, but I know that you're going to judge yourself at some point, whether you do it in your 20s or whether you do it on your fucking deathbed. Yeah. You're going to look back and you're going to be like, man, is the world going to hate me? Did I, if they ever find out about the shit I did, are they, you judge your fucking self. Yeah. But
yeah, my biggest question is, what was my contribution? What did I do to make it better? Or did I make it worse? Or did I do nothing at all?
I've always been fine with just living. That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
If you're a good person, you're a good person. You don't rob people. Yeah. You don't fucking rob stores. You don't go punch people for no reason. So that's your contribution. Right. And when people are around you that know you, maybe they don't act up. Maybe they won't run their mouth and start a fight because you're around. That's a contribution. You're spreading your good. You're a good person. As long as you spread your. I'm not trying to get off on a religious tangent. I'm trying to keep it away from religion as possible.
Well,
but
I think it's
that to me is metaphysical science, and it's
too.
True.
Yeah.
You walk in the light, and you be a good person. If you're a good person, you're surrounded by light. All the other good people are in the light. You know what I mean? Oh, but there's a shadow over there behind that tree where somebody could hide. Well, let's all of us go over there and see what the fuck is what. Which leads me to something else I had written down before I forget. I want to get to this whole thing with the deep state and child trafficking and this looting and fucking burning bullshit. Like these people don't understand, or maybe the smart ones understand, but when you make people aware,
what people don't understand?
The people that are looting, and the evil people, the pedophiles, the fucking child traffickers.
Got it.
What they don't understand is this shit can't be stopped. You know what I mean? You can't. It's not like a fucking boxing match where you're at the end of the 15 round, the bell rings, you're like, all right, you're done. Stop hitting them. Stop hitting. This shit is global. You're fucking with kids. Guarantee you, more people in the world are fucking in love with the protection of kids than fucking hurting them. I guarantee you, if you were to say, all right, all the pedophiles on this side of the globe and all the fucking people want to kill them on this side, I guarantee you that's going to be a lopsided fucking number.
Oh, yeah.
By a lot. By a lot. I bet you there ain't even a million fucking, there might be a million pedophiles. I don't know.
Yeah.
But what gets me through and what helps me is knowing that every day more people are getting more aware. Even if it's one, even if I piss one lady off like I did last night because I put pictures of certain celebrities eating pizza, and she's like, "Oh, what the hell is your problem? You're looking into shit." I said, "Well, just research it," and she did. You know what I mean? So if it's just one person a day, eventually, over time, because of fucking math and numbers and fucking multiplication and addition, there's going to be more people, and you can't stop this shit. So yeah, right now, there's probably still some shit going on, and there might be somebody at the head of the FBI who's still trying to fucking keep a lock on this child shit, but eventually, he's gonna die, or 3 of the guys that work for him are not gonna want to put up with his shit no more. You know what I mean? So you can't stop this. This is something that it's a global movement. I mean, it's not so much religion, but it is faith-based, and you have to be a good person if you want to survive. Yeah. You know? So.
And there's a point of, I mean, you want to talk to your children about these dangers and let them know what's going on, but you don't want to screw them up at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, my wife and I were talking the other day, and she was like, I don't want to let her out of my sight. I don't want her to go anywhere. I don't want her to do anything. And I was like, there would have probably been a time where I would agree with you, but I think a lot more people are aware of what's going on. They're a lot more vigilant that those types of things, it's harder to get away with that type of stuff.
I get that too, and that was a concern of mine for a few days. But my answer to that, hopefully your wife listens to this. She should. She's a good wife.
Oh yeah, she listens to all.
She's awesome, so I'm sure she does. But tell her, just particularly in our area, I feel pretty comfortable and safe in our area. Generally, where most of this happens are busy cities, LA, where people have fucking 8 kids, don't keep track of them, don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? That's where. So yeah,
Florida's got some problems too, though. I mean, Florida's
no, they
been
do.
in the news.
No, they do, but not in our area.
Yeah,
there's too many people who own guns.
A
good example I use is last year, one of the stores up the road, we call it 5 Points. One of the stores was robbed at 3 a.m, and they got some money and took off. They robbed them at gunpoint. And, I laughed about it because when you go there during the day, there's probably 60 people there, contractors, people. It's very busy. Yes. And I guarantee you at least half of them have a gun. They never would have done that fucking shit during the day. That's why they did it at 3 in the fucking morning when the cops were having their shift change and shit. You know what I mean? They would never do it during the day. So everybody in our community, I feel is aware. I don't go to certain areas, where it's probably prevalent, but our area where we work, where we live, where we shop, I feel confident everybody's aware. But, there might be pedophiles there, but I think the major stealing of children, which is definitely on a decline now in the past few months, but I definitely don't think it's all that prevalent in our area.
Yeah.
It's not something I worry about. Now, when I go back home to Rhode Island, man, I ain't been there years, and I don't even want to go back. Fuck that place. Any Democrat or big city, I'm not going to. You just can't. They hate their cops. They don't want their so all these cities now that are defunding their cops, right? Let's say after the election it settles down, the cops are defunding, they're rebuilding. Well, that's probably a pretty good time to start stealing fucking kids again, right? Who are you gonna call? What now is all these people are fucking not at home, leaving their kids with whoever the fuck, wherever the fuck. What are you doing? What are you doing? Where are your kids at? So I would worry about a city like that.
Do you? Because I've seen it floating around too, and I don't know the exact ins and outs of it, but normalizing pedophilia.
I got that.
Do you think that they're actually trying to do that, or is that just something a political ploy?
SB 145 was just passed in Cal. I think it's SB or it might be SB 147. I don't remember. I could probably look it up, but that was in California. That just passed this past week, saying that if a adult has any kind of sexual relation with a child, if it's consensual. which probably 9 times out of 10 is not going to be with a fucking 8-year-old kid and a 35-year-old fucking man or woman, whatever the fuck. But the sentencing is the discretion up to the judge, and they cannot give him the death penalty, and they don't even have to put him in jail. It's going to be discretionary by the judge. So they passed that. And the other thing, ironically enough, I got a whole shitload of screenshots that me and some people have been getting from Twitter and Facebook. This group called MAPS. Have you heard of MAPS?
Mm-mm.
If you see MAPS, be wary of it. MAPS is a mature adult pedophiles. I forgot what the acronym stands for, but it is a group of people who have sex with kids. It's called MAPS. I'll look it up.
And see, that's the crazy thing. For
But
every one you take down,
screenshots of
5 more
tweets.
come up.
I got screenshots of tweets of these people just on fucking Twitter. On Twitter. Yes, on Twitter. Twitter. These people are putting up there, oh, I love having sex with 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds. The shit's all over Facebook. These groups are every fucking where. As a matter of fact, that's why everybody's getting away from Facebook, is because they're fucking banning and blocking all this Save Our Children shit. But all day these people are putting up they want to fucking get with kids. There's one... Raping children is fun. Go look that fucking shit up. And they didn't take it down because it didn't violate their standards. I put on Twitter and Facebook when MTV was having their music awards, I hashtagged them right at them. I was like, fuck you, MTV, worrying about your music awards instead of the human and child trafficking. I got blocked for 2 fucking days from both of them. A week on Facebook because it went against their community standards because I threatened them. So I told MTV, $1 billion entity, to fuck off because they don't care about stolen kids, right? But then this one puts up, they want to fucking, it's fun to rape an 8-year-old, and that's their fucking username, and it's okay?
Yeah.
Seriously, if you don't believe in conspiracies, who's ever listening to this, open your fucking eyes. That's not right. That's not the way the world works if you're a good person doing good shit.
So then naturally my question is going to be, how can you even fight this stuff if the people who are making the laws, and I don't know about the California thing, I'm not privy to that because I just haven't heard anything about it. How are you going to fight this if the people that are making the laws are making it legal?
So,
you know?
So what gets me through and lets me sleep a few hours every night is, I believe, again, this is for a different podcast, but after the election on November 3rd and our amazing president, Donald Trump, gets his second election, I believe that things are going to start changing very, very quickly regarding the legal aspects of child trafficking. The judges, the courts, like you said, I believe that that's going to change. But if it doesn't, or some shit happens or whatever, going back to what I said earlier, you can't stop this stuff. You know, if just one person a day learns, it might take 50 years. I don't know. But one person a day, by math, exponential fucking growth, it's going to happen. Eventually, you're going to have more people who are against it than you are. So, yeah, maybe for the next couple of years, the judges in California are going to be letting these fucking pedophiles off. But I guarantee you that movement's going to be... I mean, there's people outside Nancy Pelosi's house right now. There's people outside all these mayors' houses. They weren't 2 weeks ago, but they are now. Shit takes time. But because of the grotesque disgustingness of this fucking trafficking shit, you can't stop it. You can't. There's people now that we see in the store. They don't know how deep this shit goes, but in a year they're going to know about it because it just keeps growing. You know, there's more and more every month we do the car ride. There's more and more people every month. So just based on math alone, it's growing, and so yeah, it's not going to be immediate, and there's probably going to be shitty things that are going to happen for the next year or two. But you can't stop this. You know, it's a post I made too. You can't stop this. This is fanatical for everybody involved. Fucking stolen, raped, murdered fucking children for whatever reason. You can't stop this. People don't like this, and when they find out about it, they fucking get pissed off. So yeah, I know what you're saying, the judges, but it can't stay that way. It can't. It can't. Nothing. It can't stay. Nothing. Everything changes. Nothing stays the same. You know, and at this point, more people are getting woke up to this every day. So I just post as much shit as I can every day. People like it or hate it, but it'll make them stop for 30 seconds and say, I'll read it. Oh, that was curious. Let me fucking Google that shit. Let me go check this out. Let me go to, this took me to this page. That's all you can do, man. That's all we can do. That's all we can do right now. You know, and we can hope that there's other good people like us that are up there in higher positions that are waiting for their time. You know, because in some of the conspiracy shit I see, you know, this was a plan with Trump. Because, you know, he couldn't just come in and do a coup over the government. Because the American people, you know, when Obama was in or Bush, you can't do that. The people wouldn't have stood for that, especially with Obama.
Right.
Maybe his second term, but not his first term. You know what I mean? So you can't do that. So I think it's a plan. And if you look at, you know, aside from the mainstream media, shit is changing for this trafficking. We may not see it because most people don't even fucking know about it. The mainstream media doesn't not promote it or fucking share anything or do any kind of news on it at all. But you see the Ohio, the Michigan, it's happening. People are getting more aware. People starting pages. This Wimkin, when I go home today, I'm going to start a page to start cataloging local pedophiles. I'm going to get all the people around me, and we're not going to do anything bad. We're going to follow the law. But if they want to go on Twitter and say they like to rape fucking 8-year-olds, well, guess what? I'm going to have that information, and we're going to fucking track you down, and we're not going to do nothing, but I'm going to know where you live. I'm going to know where you fucking work, and we're just going to keep that, you know, stockpiled just so we know. You know, people come in town.
And I've always wondered that myself. Like, why aren't we doing more research on these people? You know, we have
most of
psychopath
it you
tests.
can't. Most of it you can't. I'll tell you, 70% of the shit that I've shared in the past month, you can't even find it now. People like, oh, I'd like to see that video, and I'll go where I had it saved or download it, and it's gone. If you go on YouTube now, these videos don't even have the gray box that says deleted. It's just an empty space that's filled with something else. So a lot of this too, the people that are waking up, you try and research it, you're gonna find nothing. Especially on the Amazons, the Googles, the YouTubes. I believe them all to be owned by the deep state evil fucks. And Facebooks, you can't find this shit. You have to search for it. You have to go to these independent websites and stations who do news. You may not know the newscasters. It may not look like your fucking 12 o'clock news, but they're showing you news and they're telling you about it enough to where you can do your own research. So it just comes down to people. You know, it just comes down to people. You gotta be responsible. One of the things I wrote was, you know, we're all as human beings, we're obligated to make this a good place for future generations. Like, we're damned. When we're born, we're damned, and we have to prove that we can turn this into a good place for our kids. If not, we're going to destroy ourselves. I mean, it's that fucking simple, God or not. I mean, you have to live right. You have to do the right things for everybody. Yourself, your fucking neighbors, people at the store. You just have to. You know,
and especially those who can't do for themselves.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them, which they probably could, but society's made it to where, oh, don't worry about it. We'll send you a check. We'll pay you rent. Don't worry about it. You're fine. We'll give you a little bit of food every month. You'll be all right. Fuck you. I want to get my own shit. I don't want that shit from you.
I know. I can do it myself.
You just keep fucking China from invading us, and I'll take care of what the fuck I want to do in my area. And that's how the world should work.
You watch your backyard. I'll watch mine.
I'll let you know if somebody goes over your fence, but I'm good with my shit. You take your shit. Take care of my shit. Yeah, no, I hear you. It's a crazy world, man.
It is, man. Well, what about like what about the gay community? Because I see and hear a lot of opinions going on about that as well.
That's funny. Probably the past week or two, I've started inwardly mind battling myself with that. Where we're at is it's huge for same sex, whatever, gay, straight, bi. I mean, whatever. And we grew up with it, so I don't really give a fuck. You know, it's not my thing. I don't go to gay clubs and whatever. I mean, but I have been. The one used to do Drink and Drown back in the day. That was fun as fuck. You know. But I feel that a lot, like the Maps people, one of the screenshots I have, and I'll send all this shit to you later just for your own personal use. But one of them was this person was talking about how they're latching on to the LBGQ community. Did I said that wrong? I'm sorry. I don't know what it is. But they're latching on to that. And, you know, when you're a group like, say, for example, we're starting out to save our children, you take all the people you can get to have a voice. So I think it's the same thing. I think they are latching on to it. I think down the road it's going to be a fucking issue, you know, because I definitely know a few gay people that I work with daily and come in contact with and whatever. I mean, people all over my life, they're good people. That's how I judge people. But I don't want to start hating somebody because somebody in their group likes to molest kids. You know, I don't want to go hating gay and lesbian people because, you know, two people in their group likes to fuck a 8-year-old boy. You know what I mean? But I will. I mean, I have to. You know, if you're gonna allow them people and you're gonna let them have a voice in your group to fucking molest kids, then I don't hate you, but now I do. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. If you're gonna allow that, again, you're not in the light. You're going in the fucking dark to do shady shit. So. I don't want to hate you, but I fucking will.
Well, sometimes doing nothing is doing something, you know?
No, that's huge. That, especially now. That was a point I made with my buddy, talking to other friends. It's like, you can't stand idly by. It's not a Gulf War. Or, you can't stand idly by and go to work and change the channel. I mean, this is fucking global. It's huge. I mean, I don't know if you've seen some of the pictures of these other countries. They're fucking crazy, dude. You're talking like hundreds of thousands of people in fucking Hong Kong, Germany, Britain, Taiwan, all these fucking places. They're all sick of this shit. It's the same governments. It's the same fucking bullshit.
Well, people are waking up. Your friend, though, the one that you said, and I don't want to misquote you, I believe he said, doesn't know, doesn't care.
I'll read you the text, but yeah, it was similar to that. It was, we were talking about something. I said, it was late. Our conversation was twiddling out, getting to the end, and I was like, he's like, oh, I'm going to bed, and it was 11, and I had to work the next day. I was like, I'll be up till 3, and he's like, why? And I said, this child and human trafficking stuff is making me obsessive to where I can't even focus. And his immediate text 10 seconds later said, I don't know what you're talking about, and honestly, I don't care. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I've known this dude for 20 years. Like, we are very, very close friends and have been, and very like-minded. And I couldn't get over that. I haven't.
But do you think that he's at a point where he's just ingested so much poison that it's just killing him? You know what I mean?
He came from humble means. He fucking woke up at 4 a.m. for 2 years to take a bus to a big city to do a fucking internship at a computer company, paid for his own school. No, I mean, I knew him straight out of high school, and we fucking bled, cried, sweat together. I know the way he thinks, things he does, things that interest him. He's like me. He's inquisitive. He piqued his interest, but it didn't, which is what shocked me. And I mean, he just had a kid. His kid just had a year birthday. So that's when I was like, "Fuck you mean you don't care?" What?
Because sometimes it's like I've seen so many pictures and heard so many stories, and
it's overload.
Honestly, you don't even know which is real and what's not real anymore. It's hard to decipher through that maze, and it's real easy to get into a bad place in your mind. You know what I mean? If you just constantly bombarded with all of that.
It depends what your focus is.
Yeah.
If it's being thrown at you and you don't want to see it, well, yeah, it's like fucking anything. It's like, man, I don't want to fucking deal with that. It's fucking 100 degrees out. I don't go outside. There's fucking air conditioning in here. I fucking deal with that. Yeah. But if a fucking storm comes through and blows out your fucking windows and kills your air conditioner, then it's thrown at you and you're fucking miserable as shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. But, I don't know, let's say you've been inside for 3 days and the sun peeks out and you're like, oh, fucking grasshopper. You go check it out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So at that point, to answer your question, it all comes down to, I guess, perspective. So like I consider myself in this thing, whatever. I'm like, I got 300 followers on Twitter. I'm a nobody in the world, and that's fine. I do what I can. I don't give a fuck. But I feel like I've been deep. I've seen all the fucking videos and read all the articles and all the redacted fucking half CIA files that I can read wherever I could find them on whoever's fucking site, And then, like I said, I spend an hour a day. I go over the news and I'll make up a group of pictures and some posts, maybe some screenshots of some news articles, and I'll put them in a group and I'll post them to every platform I'm on. So I get like 4 or 5 of these things that get posted probably 20 times on different platforms, different pages, probably more than that really. So I feel like, and you're friends with me on there, I'm sure you get sick of all this shit that I do all day, all night. I'm putting fucking pictures and text and comments all day.
It's just hard for me to keep up because I've got a lot of stuff going on.
But the way I see it is I group this shit together with the most stuff that will affect people. Like I put some last night. There was Kristen Bell and The Rock and the Pope eating pizza with little kids, and I was like, "This is some sick shit," and they freaked out. You know what I mean? But 3 girls freaked out, but then 1 girl went and did some research and changed her thought on it. You know what I mean? So in answer to your question is, I get it. I feel like my job, because I'm a little bit further along than other people, and that's even a shitty way to say I'm not further along. I've just seen more horrible shit that I chose to believe to be true. So I get all the shit that I think is going to trigger you. That's how I look at it. That's my personal. There's no fucking like format to follow anywhere. It's just what I do. That's how I've lived my life, as I want to engage you. And if you don't give a fuck about me just talking normally, I'm going to put this shit in your fucking face. You know what I mean? But
a more directed approach, yeah.
But it's up to you, you know what I mean? So like maybe I'm being too fucking forward and shit, but I was bombarded with it too, and I got sick of it. But I got to the point to where I was comfortable with what I knew about a certain subject, and then I wanted to learn more about this one. And that seems to be the progression with people in this particular situation, in this particular time in our fucking human history. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I know what you're saying. Everybody's getting bombarded. My wife, I fucking babe, did you know fucking Michael Jackson's still alive? You know what I mean? Just shit, and she's like, Christ, it's probably the 5th time, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? So I get it. I know exactly. If she fucking, I get it.
Yeah.
But she did get interested in when I told her about the Nasara Act that was signed in 2000. I'm probably saying that wrong, and I probably don't know the right title. But apparently it's his act that's supposed to be global, that Clinton wrote, and it was supposed to be signed on September 11, 2001, that freed all global debt for everybody, your student loans, your all this shit. But it was never signed and put in it. But I told that to my wife, and she researched it, you know, and she came out the next day. She's like, you know, I looked in that thing. She's like, that's a legit document. She goes, but it has to be like signed by the president and ratified by. So, you know what I mean? So for 2 weeks, I've been throwing dumb shit at her that she just blocked out. But then I sent her something that she was interested in, you know, because she takes care of our finances. She works at a fucking bank, you know, so she was interested in wiping our debt out, you know. But that led to Epstein, and it led to the money trail of all like the donors, Biden and all the people that donated to the Clinton Global Foundation and shit. Yeah, you always follow the money. So I do this shit. And you get overloaded, and I get tired of seeing it. And I know deep down some of my friends and you might be like at 3 a.m, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this kid sending now? I get that. But it turned my wife into a believer on that aspect, you know? So
you're just trying
so I
to
see what
cast
you're
a
saying.
far net.
Yeah, everything. I just want people, whatever's going to trigger you. You know what I mean? Like apparently pizza triggered them girls last night on Facebook. There were 3 women, and it triggered them. They did not like that I put up that was sick shit because the Pope was eating fucking cheese pizza with a group of kids. Well, fucking shit that I seen and I know, that's fucking fucked up. You know what I mean? So yeah, I cast a wide net and it's overload, but there's going to be something someday that you're going to see that I post and you're going to be like, huh. Man, if that's true, that's fucked up. Let me check that out. And that happens every day, you know, and you're going to piss off more people than you're going to help. But it's the way it is. I mean, what else can I do? Going back to, I got to go to work tomorrow. I got to work 8 hours tomorrow, Monday through Friday. And then I'm tired. And then I got to pick my kid up and we got to do homework and get ready for bed and feed the dogs. So I can't go out to Alabama or Georgia and go with these marshals with my guns and go get these kids. I would love to, but I can piss people off to make them want to fucking research it. That's what I'm good at. That's what I can do while still living my life. And I don't feel bad about that. I mean, if the marshals came through town somewhere, whatever, you know, and be like, oh, we need an extra hand or something, I'm fucking on it. I got 5 guys right now who'll fucking lock and load and go, you know, and there might be a time after Trump wins where we are able to do that and we have to do that. I don't know, you know, but I'm doing what I can and I'm on guard, and that's all that's expected of everybody. Nobody's expecting grandma from down the road to go grab her husband's gun and go kill the pedophile next door. It doesn't work like that. You know, you have to do it legally. You have to follow the law. You want to be a good person. You know, you can't stoop to people's level when you're trying to catch fucking bad people. You know, you have to be the good person and do what you can. You have to live your life and keep doing what you're doing. I don't know.
Awesome.
You can't help other people if you can't take care of yourself. It's just the way it is.
No, those are very, very true words.
You know, so, I don't know. That's my perspective on things. That's why I'm so obsessive. That's why people are, my close friends are getting annoyed with me and shit, but I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
No, you keep doing what you're doing,
see
man.
These fucking kids all scared and crying and kidnapped, man. That I can't handle that. It's not right. It's not right.
And it's like I said, it's very understandable because I didn't even know about your history like that. You know what I mean?
And nobody does. That's why most of these people are like, "Oh, you're going crazy," but I can't help it.
Well,
my wife don't bust my balls. She knows.
Yeah.
I come out at 3 a.m. I'm like, "Babe, look at this fucking kid. They fucking took him, and then they found him on Wayfair." You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And she's like, "Oh, great," and goes back to sleep. But I know it. I'm like fucking fanatical.
Yeah,
and then after I formulate it and I understand, and then I make up I'm like, all right, so the Pope did this, and now he's not allowed the Vatican. He's the first Pope to ever retire as a Pope, and then he just got banned from the Vatican. So then when I come up with that, then I'm like, oh, now I figured out. Now I see how it works. Now I see what them sick fucks are doing. Yeah. But then the next day I'll see something else about fucking Ohio or Chicago, and it picks right up. And I can't do nothing about it, man. I don't know what to say. And I don't give a fuck. Because it's not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. I ain't hurt nobody.
I don't think it is a bad thing at all.
I'll argue with anybody. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help kids the best way I can. Yeah. If you don't like it, then you're fucking suspect.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
I'll fucking shoot you in the leg too.
Exactly. You're part of the problem.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but you're not helping me help these fucking kids, and you're not fucking right.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, no,
I don't think I'm wrong.
I agree with you.
I'll fucking stand in front of God or whoever, and I feel fine with that, you know? Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's a crazy world, man. It's a crazy world. You got to work as a group, but you also have to be individual, and it's a big group, billions. So it's a tough way to... It's tough to maneuver through it, you know. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to get easier as you get older. I don't know. Or we try to make it easier for our kids anyway.
Yeah.
Tell my kid every day, you know, like we discussed, I'll answer anything to my kid. Anything at any time. Sexual, drugs, and if my kid has a question, like he asked me, I don't know if I told you, he asked me, is there a Santa Claus? No, he said, is Santa Claus real? And I stopped, and I turned around and looked at him, and he was just looking at me, dude. This 6-year-old looked at me like a fucking 30-year-old, and he knew the answer. He looked like a fucking lawyer. He already knew the fucking answer. He was looking at me like, what you gonna do, motherfucker? You know what I mean? And I looked at him, and I was like... No. I was like, all the shit you got, we bought it. You know, I said, no, there's no. He's like, I thought so, because we don't have a chimney. I said, yeah, it's just something we tell kids. I said, but no, it's not true. And that was it. You know, I feel like I do my kid more justice being honest with him. Not that it's a big deal, but I don't want him being fucking 16 and being, oh, my fucking dad lied to me about Santa. Yeah. Not a huge deal, but I don't want to do it. Yeah. It's fucking dumb. Yeah. You know what I mean? I didn't go out and say, hey, don't fucking believe in Santa. And, you know, don't believe in the Easter Bunny. You know, I don't do that. But if he asks me, I'm going to tell him, you know.
I have a problem over-explaining. That's why I don't like explaining, because I'll get done and she either did not understand what you were talking about.
My wife will do the tongue click, because I'll do that too. I'm getting better at it, but too, like, as soon as they do something bad, like, you know, I got fucking a novel in my head of what I'm going to tell him or why it's bad, what I know, why, you know, and I'll get going a couple minutes and I'll see him, like, looking around or looking at his iPad. My wife will click her tongue. She's like... And that's when I'm like, oh yeah, I'm rambling. He's not listening. All right, whatever, just go. You get the point. Don't fucking do it again. Yeah. You know? Yeah. I don't know, man. We just make our way through it. There's no fucking handbook. Everybody's different.
Man, there really isn't. But you're right. It takes everybody's going to have to get on board. And if you really want to get rid of it and stop it.
It's a battle. It's light and darkness. If you're not religious, that's fine. If you don't want to believe in God, that's fine. You know, but it's light and darkness. You can't deny that. And you know, what side you're going to be on. You know, I don't want to be a scumbag. I'm not a scumbag. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to be a bully. You know, but I want to help the people who are bullied.
I would rather like to help people. Yeah.
Yeah, and most people I believe would, you know. But, you know, if you want to get into, again, you know, the next podcast or whatever, the conspiracy, that'll be the deep one. That'll be the one that turn all your listeners away. But, you know, this has all been controlled. MK Ultra, you know, what do they call the television? Programming. Yeah. Television programming. It's been called programming since it was invented. Like, people don't pick up on that. But that shit matters. That shit matters. Programmed. The what?
They're not going to pick up on it because they've been programmed.
I mean, right?
So
it's a fucked up catch-22.
You know, and I probably go a little bit deeper than you, and like you said, that's probably for another podcast. But we will definitely get to that.
Yeah, no, I'm down. I'll make notes for that one. That'll be a good one.
Well, there's
some serious shit.
Is there anything else you want to put out there for anyone listening, or?
No, just wake up, do what you can. If you don't believe in anything, believe in protecting the innocent. You know, you have a right and obligation as a human being to do the right thing and protect people. I mean, that's just nature.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking animals do it. I could pull up 5 videos now of elephants helping baby deer when they're fucking getting eaten by an alligator.
Yeah.
It's just
You're right.
nature.
You're right.
You know, we're probably the only species, I'm pretty sure we're the only species that trains themselves to go against their nature. But it's people like us who follow our gut and say, fuck your fucking bullshit rules programming. My stomach's telling me I need to do this. So I'm just going to do this because this is what I feel is the right thing to do to help that person and not go kick him while he's down.
Yep.
So that's it. Just be a good person. Be a good American. Be a good citizen. Be a good human being. And fucking vote Trump. Jesus Christ, please end all this bullshit. Listen, if you watch all the boat parades, every time Trump goes somewhere, there's miles of people, you know, and even the Democrats, you know, again, I'm all over these platforms and shit, and I'm in Democrat sites and I'm on all of them, and even a lot of the Democrats, they're frustrated with this, with these cities burning. You know, this shit shouldn't happen in the United States. In motherfucking Chicago, and the mayor is sitting back not giving a fuck while it burns. You know what I mean? That's a problem. So I don't think Trump winning. The only thing I worry about is I heard that if, you know, they're pushing the mail-in ballots pretty good and they want money for the post office. I think that's all a ruse to control the mail-in ballots, obviously. I saw something yesterday where O'Hare Airport, somebody got picked up with like 50,000 IDs, all Democrat, all registered to vote.
Really?
Just bags of IDs. I'll send you that fucking link after so you can check that out.
It's crazy.
It is. But I think people are waking up and the Democrats just, they don't have it. People are sick of this shit, you know. And I don't know. I mean, Democrats are evil. And Trump is he waves the American flag. So I don't doubt he's gonna win. Oh, that's what I was getting at. I'm sorry, I rambled real quick. The thing I heard that I forgot what it was. I don't know, some kind of article. But if they can't decide a winner by the actual inauguration day in January 20th, whatever the fuck it is, if whatever they have ballot problems and nobody is declared the winner by inauguration day, the Speaker of their House is interim president until a fucking winner is declared.
Shit.
That's a fucking problem. So if you believe in the deep state and shit, yeah, I believe they believe that they're not going to beat Donald Trump. But if they can get fucking Pelosi in there as interim, and fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I also read something, as a matter of fact, someone sent me yesterday, I think it's Article 14, says that if Trump wins, if they're, I'll send that to you. I got that fucking last night someone sent to me. But if Trump wins, he can initiate Article 14 and take electoral votes from cities that did not protect their citizens. So all these big cities where they're fucking around, not taking the money, not taking the help, letting it burn. If he can prove that they intentionally fucking did that and didn't do anything to help, he can take their electoral votes.
Wow.
And I just got that yesterday, so I didn't really research that.
Yeah, I'll have to look into
Article
that.
14. That and the Pelosi thing is something that I'm on now. I'm trying to check that. But man, it's so hard to research now. Everything's getting shut down. Everything's getting disappeared. Everything's locked down. It's really hard to research unless someone else already had it and you can find it.
In the riots in China, that was one of the things that they started talking about over there, is that everything was starting to shut down. The platforms were being seized. And so, again, it doesn't surprise me. We're on the brink of something here.
Did you see Australia's arresting people? Did you see some of those videos?
No.
Man, I got 3 videos. One lady was pregnant on her way to her ultrasound. She put on Facebook, we're having a protest at the park. They broke into her house and arrested her. This other guy, I got his video a couple days ago. He was up on his balcony. The cops opened his door and broke his door down and arrested him because he said he was going for a walk with other people. They're straight up in these non-American countries where they have a little bit more control and where they don't own fucking guns.
Yeah.
You know, that's where we get lucky too. Yep. That's where we're not like a lot of these countries because, you know, I make the example all the time. Fucking looters and rioters, they're not coming into where we're at and pulling that shit. Because I know fucking everybody in this town's going to be locked and loaded and standing there at the fucking border and be like, what? It would never happen. You would never, ever see that here. Ever. Ever. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. I think Trump's going to win. I think these... the deep state and Democrats, they're failing and they know it and they're just trying to pull whatever bullshit they can. But I think after on November 4th, you're going to see, I think things are going to come to light that he really couldn't say now just for the sake of the American public until after the election's official. So I think things are going to change. I'm hopeful. But essentially, we're all doing good work. So we're just going to keep going and keep waking people up and save the world.
Awesome. Well, I have 3 questions I always ask everyone.
Ask away.
The first one is...
Am I obligated to answer them? Because I already did this, so I can bounce. No, go ahead.
You don't have to.
No.
This is the only question that I ask everybody the same.
It was a great time, this invitation. What do you got, sir?
Okay, well, tell me what you like about yourself. What do you love about yourself?
Honesty, my forwardness. I go up to somebody and look them in the eye and tell them I'm not a liar or a thief. Mm-hmm. And they'll believe me just by looking at me. Mm-hmm. That to me, communication. I'm always on my kid about communication. Mm-hmm. He'll be like, "Daddy, did you da?" I'm like, "Listen, stop. Think about what you want to say, and then say it." Right. I'm a great communicator.
Awesome.
Yep.
What do you hate about yourself?
I guess like anybody else, essentially we're all selfish. It's like how, you make decisions that aren't selfish. But those decisions come to your mind. They don't act on them for the most part. But we're all selfish. And, mentally sometimes that could, give you the old tug of war sometimes. But I feel like if I didn't have that, I'd be a lot more, my mind would be a lot more at ease most of the time. Maybe not so much in the past 2 months because I feel like I have a focus now. But before that, it's like, we're living good. We have good jobs. We're doing well. Now it's like, now what? Yeah. You know what I mean? That's when the selfish, I should go out with the guys. Maybe go to the casino for the weekend. I ain't done that in a while. You know what I mean? I'd like to do that, but I'm not gonna. It's not what I need to do right now. Right, so that's probably one of, I don't want to be full of myself, but I'm a pretty good person. I'm pretty happy with the way I've lived and the way I've grown and evolved. But the selfishness, like I said, I think everybody's got it. It's not huge, but... sometimes it'll play a factor in things. Yeah, no, you're right. But not a big deal. It's not like I'm fucking, I don't know. That's probably the worst thing, I think. I don't know. I don't have any bad habits.
Well, I'm sure I already know the answer, but what's one thing you'd like to change about the world?
Well, not to beat a dead horse because we just had 2 hours of that. I would like there to not be races and countries. I think that if you want to grow as a planet, as a race, you have to be humans exploring space. When we start exploring space 50 years from now and we meet another species, we're not going to be like, oh, this is a Chinese guy, this is a fucking French guy. We're going to be like, we're human beings, and to plan for that, which is an obvious fucking, thing that's going to happen. We have to expand, but we have to be one. They can't be fucking China. And there can't be France right next to Germany with different beliefs. We just got to be, I wish everybody, I don't want to say we need a new world order because from the shit I've read about the new world order, that's something we don't want. Yeah. But we do need one global consciousness. We all need to get along. We're just fighting ourselves. It's like when you put two colonies of ants. When you dump one shovel full of red ants on another, they sit there and fight, but there's fucking 2 acres where they could just go. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or they could get along and build a really cool city. Yeah. That's what we need. We're fucking ants right now. We're fighting each other over fucking bullshit nonsense. Yeah. Now, I think it's all been kicked into high gear by these evil fucks who have their own selfish plans. But that's what I wish. Sorry it was so long, but I wish that we would all just be human beings and not fucking individualize or separate or segregate each other.
Awesome.